Okay, part 2 of week 6 chapter talk covering chapter 5. We just finished up looking at audience demographics, those things that are measurable or more easily quantified. Now we're moving to look at identify audience psychographics. Now, psychographics are a lot harder to find and then, of course, determine how to adjust accordingly. So psychographics, they're your interests, your opinions, your behavior, your values, the activities you partake in, how you feel about certain subjects. All of these things comprise your psychographics. So let's break those down. First, let's look at beliefs. How about I follow my slides here? Beliefs, okay? Beliefs are what we know or what we think we know. Okay, and these beliefs typically come from direct experience, things we've actually participated in, or indirect experience, where we have felt that experience through others. So for example, direct experience for me has been that with higher education, I have higher compensation in a job. So that has been my direct belief that higher education equals higher pay. An indirect belief would be adopting the political views of your parents, because that is how you grew up and how you were shaped. You indirectly experienced a belief. Next, let's look at attitudes. Attitudes are very similar to beliefs, okay? These are strong thoughts or feelings on a specific subject, and you are predisposed to either a positive or negative reaction. So for example, government surveillance. That typically poses a positive or a negative reaction. Positive side would be it prevents terrorism, it increases safety. A negative attitude towards it would attain its attack on our privacy. It's a violation of our amendment rights. Those attitudes are, again, they're categorized, they're positive or negative, but they pull up a specific emotion, a good or a bad, and we approach the subject accordingly. Next, we have our values. Okay, the values are our moral principles. They guide how we should behave. They guide what we believe. They are really the anchor, the core identity of who we are, and they're part of our moral development. Now, if you've ever looked at Kohlberg stages of moral development, we almost move through this infant, toddler, child to adult morality development. And just like my toddler, if I were to catch her eating a cookie before dinner when she shouldn't be, she might hide it behind her back. Or she's more often known to say, "Nothing, mama, because at her stage of moral development, she believes if I did not see the cookie or if she did not get caught, she did not do anything wrong. Okay, so let's continue on with values. Again, it's how we behave. So if the cashier gives you the correct change in your favor, this just happened to me last week at McDonald's. I paid with a 10 for my daughter's Happy Meal, and instead of giving me 3 ones back, the cashier gave me 2 5s and a 1. Must have pulled the wrong bills out of the drawer. Now, I will admit, I was like, well, it's not my error, but I knew that my values have to guide how I behave. So I said, "Oh, I think you gave me the wrong change, dear," and gave it back, and then she surrendered the correct change. Secondly, it guides what I believe. So not only did I give the incorrect change back, but I really felt that that's the right thing to do. So it's not just the behavior, but it's also the belief and how I feel that that supports a world order. And then lastly, under psychographics, we have the concept of motive, widely shared psychological needs or desires, okay? And so I used the example of taking care of our earth, being green, lowering our footprint. All those things are often widely shared psychological needs. Not only does it benefit us personally, but it benefits future generations. So we need to understand, generally speaking, what are the motives of our audience, and then we want to connect our message accordingly. And that also points back to values, attitudes, beliefs. We want to tie our message into something that already matters to the audience. Therefore, we have them intrinsically motivated, and we just need to further a belief they already have. Okay, continuing the subject of motive, I got ahead of myself a little bit here. Whoops. Let's just take one more look at this. What you see before you is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And this is typically portrayed in a pyramid. So as I just said, we want to tie our message to the existing needs, values, or motives. And if we look at this pyramid, your message should land somewhere in here, okay? Psychologically, the bottom of the pyramid, that is as simple as food, drink, a place to sleep. Moving up the pyramid, safety, feeling safe and secure, having a home, having a lock on your door, free from fear. Moving up the pyramid, love and belonging. We all want affection. We are designed for companionship and support and a place we belong in a relationship, in a family, in a group. Next up, as we move up, we're refining our needs. And I need to just step to the side once and state, typically you need the bottom need before you can attain the next one. So you need to be physiologically well before you can feel safe. You need to be safe before you can really exhibit, send, and receive love. And you need to be loved and have belonging before you can gain that sense of esteem. And esteem is just that. It's personal development, it's growth, it's accomplishing things, it's having pride. And then lastly, we have self-actualization. And that is where it all comes together. We truly define who we are. This might involve some tradition. We honor our roots. We do things as we have done in the past. We have appreciation for certain things. Our values, our attitudes, our beliefs have been refined. And then there's a level of altruism where we not only desire to take care of self, but because we have taken care of ourselves, we now are fulfilled and can take care of others. It's that whole concept of self-care that you have to fill your own bucket first because you can't pour from an empty pitcher. Self-actualization works that way. We cannot be altruists. We cannot have all the good to give if we haven't first identified and taken care of our own needs. Okay, the last thing I want to take note of is a graph that you can find out of chapter 5, and simply it links 8 to 10 different motives. Okay, how you can tie your motive within the speech to an existing motive we all contain. And this is really just a breakdown of that Maslow's higher pyramid of needs, but I would reference it as you complete your homework this week. So to wrap things up, we talked about audience demographics. Those are those measurable or more easily quantifiable things. Understanding what we know, doing our research about our audience before we speak to them. Secondly, we talked about audience psychographics. That, again, that's the heart. This is the motivation, our values, beliefs, our attitudes, and our motives. And then adjust your message to the speaking situation. This is the work you are going to do in your assignments this week, where you're going to take what you have learned, your knowledge and your research, and you're going to apply it to your coursework this week. Thank you.